Been a long time, but I thought I'd look at basic algebra 1. What I want to look at today, just the very beginning of looking at equations, so it says here, solve m minus 48 is equal to 29. So what value of m makes that true? And I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this. And some people, you're just so smart that you can just mess with this and see it in your head. I'm not that guy. My math is fair, but Einstein once said, why remember what's written down? So I try to write everything down and move things left and right. So here we go. Here's the idea I want you to start with. You and I start with the same number. I'm going to start with 3, and I'm going to say that 3 equals 3. And what I want you to do is pick your number. Just pick a small number randomly. And I'm only saying small because it makes it easier to do. So you chose 5. So I'm going to choose 5 also. So what I'm going to do is 3 equals 3 is true, isn't it? You said 5, though. So 5 plus 3, and on this side, plus 5. So I added 5 to this side and this side, and we get 8 is equal to 8. And that's true, isn't it? Now, maybe you chose, oh, you did. You chose a different number. You chose 7. So I had 3 equals 3. You chose 7. So did you add 7 to both sides? And if you did, doesn't 10 equal 10? All we're trying to do is keep our equation, quote unquote, in balance. So we're just keeping this thing in balance right now. Now, what we'd like to do here, what we just talked about was the addition property of equality. There's a bunch of rules of equality in algebra, and what they really mean is what I said before. It has to do with balancing things. So I guess what I'm trying to say to you is this. What you want, as we're solving, is we want this m all by itself, but there's this negative 48 over here, isn't there? So I'm thinking to myself, what can I add to negative 48 to make it turn into 0? Because then I'd have m by itself is equal to some value. So I kind of figured it out, and I was like, you know what, if I add 48 to both sides, so I'm going to add 48 to both sides. I add 48 to both sides, and if I do that, I get m is equal to, what is that, 77? So m is equal to 77. That's what I believe. I'm going to go back here and just check this and make sure that I'm right here and say this 77, because that's m, right? I'm replacing this in substitution. 77 minus 48, minus 48 is equal to 29, question mark. And lo and behold, 29 is equal to 29, and we have a balanced equation, and we did this, right? So please remember, there's this addition rule of equality. The subtraction rule of equality works exactly the same. I do a different problem. I say 21 plus, x is equal to negative 18. Keeping in mind, what I want is this x by itself. So what I'm trying to do is clear everything else out. And this x and this 21 are being added. So I'm going to take this 21, and what can I do to get the opposite of 21 but subtract 21 or add negative 21? In the same way that we did those examples in the beginning with 7 plus 3 and 5 plus 3 equaling 8 on each side or equaling 10 on both sides, we're doing the same thing here. So I added negative 21 here. I have to add negative 21 here. And I get x is equal to, well, negative minus a negative is still a negative, and then I add the numbers. I get 9, 39, don't I? So answer should be negative 39. And look at this, 21 minus, this is our substitution value, x and x. So we said x is 39, so 21 minus 39 is equal to negative 18, isn't it? So that works. Look, you guys, if you're just coming back to algebra, you've been away from it for a while, or you're really young, and I know it's the coolest thing. There's somebody watching right now who's like in 6th grade or something. It's just I'm amazed at you. I think you're the coolest person in the world. Or if you're 900 years old like I am. Either way, this is something you can get. And once you get the basics of algebra, you can kill other stuff. If you can get your basic algebra really good, you can absolutely destroy calculus. So if you haven't already subscribed, please do. And your comments are always welcome.